Welcome back to the chat room here on Channel 20. I'm Rich Simpson, your host, and as I always say, there's nothing you can do about it. And this is the chat room. We're now in our 10th year. So we started in 2000, so this will be the 10th year. Yeah, 10th year of the chat room. And the 2000 thing, Sherry, has me all...
I know.
It's somehow, I still haven't totally decided whether to say 2010 or
right.
2010. I think it's better 2010 because it's you know, you had 1800s, 1900s. Why not
2000s?
No, 2010. So old timers in the 20th century would say 1905. A lot of them.
Were you there?
No,
okay,
wasn't there. I came along about halfway through the century. Sherry Lowery is our guest, and she is, well, tell them your title. What's your title?
I actually am an instructor of early childhood care and education for DeKalb Technical College, and I head up the program here in the Covington-Newton area.
Okay, now, folks, if you think you've seen Sherry before, let's go back a little bit in history here in Covington, what you've done here in Covington.
Well, here in Covington, ages ago, and for several years, I was working with the Learning Center. I sat on the board for them, and I did a lot of classroom parenting sessions about brain development and positive guidance and discipline. And so a lot of people know me from the library, from the talks and different things that I did for the Learning Center. And then, of course, I've been at DeKalb Tech now, a little more than 7 years, and I've been working in this capacity as as the program chair for the past 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, I already have one question for you off the beaten path, but let's get into a little bit. Tell what you do now at DeKalb Tech. I know your title, but what's your day-to-day process?
My day-to-day, well, we're a very, very busy program. We're a very large program out here in the Covington-Newton area. We have diploma programs, associate degree programs. We have 5 different technical certificate of credit programs, and those are entry-level programs that anyone who is interested in early childhood could get into to perhaps work in a child care center, manage a child care center. You know, a lot of the public schools now are looking for people who have early childhood care and education to become the assistant teachers, and so that's where we are. We are the go-to people for early childhood care and education. Okay,
now, next question, and you may have already answered it, but I want to make sure I got this in. Why did you add the CDATCC and Child Development Specialist?
This is in response. Right from the start, the Department of Early Care and Learning are the licensors for all in-home and early childhood care centers, and they've recently enacted a new requirement that all persons who work with children in that birth to 5 arena have a minimum of an entry-level TCC, Technical Certificate of Credit. And so we have added the Child Development Associate and the Child Development Specialist because this is just an answer to the requirement. While teachers are coming and working with us, they can also still be working in their centers, but gaining the experience and gaining the to meet the requirements that right from the start has asked them to do.
Okay, now I've heard a parent recently talking to my wife, and this lady has a child that's somewhere around a year old or maybe a little less or more, and she said that the doctor or whoever is in command of this child's development wanted this child saying 5 words by X age, whatever that age is.
And that's a noble and honorable thing to request. But children have developmental milestones. We help teachers understand that all in due time. You know, we cannot teach children to crawl. We can't teach them to walk. They'll do it whether we were there or not. But we do talk a lot about developmental milestones, what to look for at 2 months, at 6 months, at 18 months, what to work on to help them be and gather strength in all of the developmental milestones, physically, emotionally, socially, and cognitively.
Good answer and right on time because this first segment's over, but I want to go into that just a little bit when we get back for the next segment.
Okay.
Sherry Lowery, teacher at DeKalb Tech. Again, I'll let her tell you her title again. But anyway, we'll be back in just a moment. This is the chat room. This is the chat room. I appreciate you watching. And my guest for this particular segment and the last segment is Sherry Lowery, who's instructor for early childhood care and education at DeKalb Tech. And we're also very happy to have DeKalb Tech on as a sponsor. And in this particular sponsorship, they have 2 5-minute segments every show for 2010. So we're very grateful for that. Going back to what we were talking about last segment, Sherry, this thing about so many words by
developmental milestones.
Yeah, but the thing is, everybody's different. All children are different.
They are, absolutely, and that's why education is so important. We do a lot of work with how-tos, how to provide art experiences for children, how to provide math experiences and science experiences, but we're also very heavy into the whys and wherefores. We have 3 separate classes on human growth and development. How do children develop from here to here to here to here, and what should we look for to make sure they're developing as they should, on time, without being pushy or overbearing to the poor children.
Now, let me ask you this. The people that in these classes you teach, who are they? I mean,
we have young, old. We have just out of high school. Last year, I graduated a 75-year-old who wanted to do better by the children that she works with in childcare. We have male, female. We have everybody because we have a very hands-on program. We have a very teamwork-oriented program. Lots of projects, lots of checking, research on the web, doing various and sundry things for each of the individual classes. There are actually 18 classes in the associate's degree specifically tied to early childhood care and education.
All right. Now, what can a person do with an AAS degree or an ECCE degree? I had to look at it to ask that.
It's a lot of acronyms. We're very acronym happy in the education arena. But with an associate's degree from our school, from a technical school, because we are a method school and not necessarily just in theory, anyone graduating from our program with a degree can become a Georgia Pre-K lead teacher in any child care center. They can take that degree and move on to, we have articulation agreements with some wonderful four-year colleges to get their bachelor's degree program. Mercer, Georgia State, Piedmont College, Clayton State, they all love our students because they are coming in with a lot of methods courses in their portfolio. So they're very happy.
Now, did you start to say something else?
No, I don't think so. I think I probably was, but...
Okay. All right.
I don't know what it was.
Now, I jumped ahead because I've already asked you this question.
Sure.
What are the classes like in your program? But what would you say is the biggest eye-opener for your students when you're teaching them?
The biggest eye-opener probably has to do with the overall curriculum plans that we want for the children to have. It's the moving with the guidance and the discipline to create an atmosphere in each classroom where the children are happy and they have the least amount of bumps, bruises, and hurt feelings as possible. What we're looking for is for the children to really engage in different learning activities and take it home with them. That's I think the biggest eye-opener. That we want a well-rounded, wonderful child in working with our teachers. Okay, now, if somebody, I don't want to leave this out, somebody interested in the class, in the program, how do they get to it? The very first thing they should do is to go on our website, www.decabtech.edu, and here they're going to find a frequently asked questions page. They'll find application information, financial aid information. They can get in. The financial aid for the technical colleges is fabulous, and we have the Hope Grant, the Hope Scholarship, Pell Grant, which is the federal program, and remember when I mentioned right from the start, the Department of Early Care and Learning? They're also very interested in helping people get back into school, and they're willing to pay 85% of your tuition if you work in a child care center right now and get started in a technical school program. Sherry Lowery has been our guest. She's an instructor with early childhood care and education. Sherry, thanks for coming on. Thank you. Good to see you again. This is the chat room on Channel 20, and we'll be back.